أهلا وسهلا، يعطيكم العافية. اليوم معي صاحبي بن. طبعا بن ما شاء الله عليه هو يعني الاهتمامات عنده في الليدرشيب، في التدريب، الكوتشنج، خصوصا تدريب القادة، مهتم بالأمور هذه. فأنا الحين ببدأ معه لقاء، بسأله كم سؤال عن المؤتمر وعن التنظيمي، وإن شاء الله تلقون فيها الفائدة. Ben, thank you for being with me in the camera.
Thank you. It's been I'm honored to do it.
Yeah, so let's start with the IO psychology. If I tell you, like, what does IO mean? If you could describe it like in a few words and in plain English to the people who don't know about it.
Yeah, so I think IO for me personally is really helping people be able to be in their workplace and be in the workforce with intention.
Yeah.
So, and that's done in a bunch of different ways, whether that's helping develop an organizational culture, redefining selection practices, or helping people develop in their skill set, whatever that is in their training, is important. And so for IO psychologists, everything we do from a research and from a practitioner context goes through that lens of helping people work intentionally and be intentionally connected to the workplace that they're in.
Great. I think you explained it well. So let's move on to the conference. We've been here for 2 days now, attending such a great sessions from all over the topics and areas of IO and HR, human resources, and organizational development. So what attracted you the most here in this conference, and how did you like it so far?
Yeah, man, I've really loved the conference so far. I think for me as a master's student here in the United States, I think this conference has really affirmed me in what I'm pursuing and studying in a lot of different ways. I think one, for the standpoint of seeing the research that's being in the field, the way that we are moving forward and helping people be able to connect to their workplace in a way that's meaningful, that allows them to feel included in the workplace, but also impacted to be motivated to continue to work forward.
Yeah.
And then from the practitioner side, I'm learning a lot about ways that these things are being applied and how specific businesses in their contexts are being able to intentionally practice these things that other IO psychologists are implementing, and then also how IO psychologists have strategically placed themselves within different workplaces. All of that has really made me excited about the field even more, although I'm already studying it, and I look forward to the end of this conference, but then going next year and again, because this stuff is really meaningful and is getting my mind thinking about ways that I can also impact it moving forward.
Great, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we were just talking about it yesterday, and how great the conference was. We had like expectations about it, and we thought it's going to be excited to be here, but we never had like this high expectations in terms of the topics that were presented here and the updates in the research and everything. So was there, I asked all the interviewees, is there like any specific session that you attended and you would like to maybe share your knowledge about it?
Yeah, so as Manam mentioned at the beginning, executive development and just leadership development in general is a topic I'm interested in. And so I've gone to a lot of sessions around that, but one today that really stuck out to me was one focused on how organizations do succession planning for executive leaders. And so we spend a lot of time talking about how we develop leaders and implementing leaders, but a big part of being a leader is also knowing when the time for you to pass the baton to someone else comes, is the organization prepared for it, and are they ready to do it? And honestly, sitting through an 80-minute panel discussion with a lot of practitioners who are doing these things and implementing them in organizations, I learned a lot just about the intentionality that goes into the process, in terms of intentionality from how it's designed and created, but also the intentionality of how do we bring in those potential future executives and leaders into the process, making sure that you're offering transparency to potential future executives, those people that may be succeeding current leaders, and how you're able to do that in a way that meaningfully gives them the opportunities they need to grow. And so even well before the process, I think the thing that stuck out to me is not just looking at the leader right when you're setting the succession plan, maybe 1 to 2 years out, but thinking 3-5 years down the line and saying, our executive leaders need these experiences to succeed in our organization. If that's the case, how are we setting them up with experiences within our organization to be able to meet those standards and exceed them moving forward, so that they're prepared when their number is called, when the time comes for them to potentially step into those roles as leaders are stepping down at the end of their career and succession is needing to take place. To me, that was a really interesting session, something I hadn't thought a lot about and that we haven't necessarily talked a lot about in class yet, but it was very clear to me it's a key element in executive development in an organization growing their executive team.
That's great. That's great. So that was Ben, and I really admire his mindset especially about topics, as I said, in leadership, executive leadership and development. He has the knowledge, and he's still gaining more knowledge, and I think he's gonna do a great executive coach.
Man, I appreciate it. I'm just trying to keep up with you, my man. It's been a joy to be able to do this with you, and thank you for allowing me to be interviewed today.
Of course,
So,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.